Hello and welcome back to Oscar Recap. Today we will recap.
This is the scariest ice cream ever made. The boy just poured it down the toilet, but the ice cream had become a spirit. It was trying to eat him. The boy was so scared that he flushed the toilet and escaped death. It turned out that his parents never let Jack eat. Every day they forced him to eat ice cream. Any leftover bite would result in a severe beating, so Jack had to pour it out in secret. And that's how it happened. Jack then took out his expired shampoo. He ate it pretending it was ice cream, but it didn't escape his dad's attention. He tasted it with his index finger, which had been single for 40 years. It was about to get out of hand. Jack saw what was happening and ran out of the room. The family followed in pursuit. Fortunately, he is saved by Tom, who was driving the car. What was this all about? It turns out that just a day earlier, the old man had found something on the ground. He tasted it with his fingers, and to his surprise, it was quite tasty. Then he took another 3,000 bites. The taste was too good for him. The next day, merchants went to the area. They bought the area for a lot of money. They're sucking up the ice cream on the floor. They put it straight into a box and started selling it. The first time it hit the market, the supermarkets went crazy. It took over 103% of the market. They even replaced staple food on the table. That evening, Jack was hungry and went out to look for food. When he opened the fridge, he was shocked by the sight of. He opened the fridge and was amazed by what he saw. The box of ice cream had moved on its own. His father came over to him. Jack tells him that the ice cream has become a spirit, but his father thought he was hysterical. He told him to go back to bed. The next day, Jack goes to the supermarket. A little boy is eating a crazy ice cream. Jack snatched it up and threw it on the ground. Jack grabbed it and threw it on the floor. Then he took out a 50-meter long stick. The wall of ice cream was knocked over with a single blow. Because Jack knew there was something wrong with the ice cream, he didn't expect to get halfway through the destruction. The security guard came and stopped him. At night, however, Tom was sleeping in the hotel when something even more terrible happened. This is the most horrible pillow ever made. The man was sleeping. Little did he know that the next second, a big white blob of something crawled out. The man's face was covered with it. The man had trouble breathing and he fell to the ground and started to rock. Fortunately, Mary had the bright idea too. A fire ignited the ice cream. A few minutes later, the man ripped off the ice cream. He slammed it against the wall. At that moment, the innkeeper came up to him. Without saying a word, he threw a fist at him. Tom threw him over his shoulder. He threw him out. The next moment, the ice cream started shooting wildly at him. The shopkeeper was shot straight into the wall. Tom and the two of them tried to save the shopkeeper, set the whole hotel on fire to save him. Tom and Mary then escaped together. The police found out that there was something wrong with the ice cream. They come to the door to investigate. The owner doesn't say a word about the secret of the ice cream and kicks Tom out. But as soon as Tom left, the dog went berserk. The dog bites at the man. Fate brings Tom and Jack together. They decided to join forces to destroy the ice cream. The two men arrived at the factory by plane to give Jack a little more rest. So Tom and his colleague got off the plane and went to the factory first. Suddenly, the plane was attacked by ice cream. Jack was so scared that he ran out of the plane. Then he saw a tanker truck and, without saying a word, he got into it. The workers snapped the lid shut. Jack is trapped in the tanker. At that moment, Tom and his ex-wife arrive at the factory. The workers are busy. The boss says he sells 80 billion boxes a day. The boxes alone could circle the globe 8 times. Tom and his ex-wife are pretending to be impressed. In fact, they were planning how to destroy the factory. In the darkness of the moon, Tom and his ex-wife sneak into the mining site. What they didn't expect was a shocking sight. These ice creamers are no ordinary people, that they could swim in the pool by themselves. The workers are all dull-eyed and dazed. The eyes, like robots, all they did was work. Tom changed into his uniform and slipped inside. The walls were filled with bombs as he turned to come out, but the foreman found him without his hat. Tom was no slouch. He grabbed the man and grabbed him. He grabbed the man, and the hat was in his hand. At that moment, one of the workers opened the valve of the tanker. A large quantity of ice cream was instantly sucked in. Jack, who was hiding in the tanker, panicked. Outside, Tom is still walking around in the dark, imitating the workers. Suddenly he heard Jack's voice asking for help. Without saying a word, he grabbed the tanker and took Jack out with him. Then he flipped the switch on the bomb. The walls around him were blown to powder. The whole ice cream pond was buried. In the nick of time, Tom got Jack out. It was a real thrill. The two men then drove the tanker to the barracks, where they found the general and asked him for help. They told him about the ice cream that had become a spirit. The general, without saying a word, the general sent the army with Tom and set off. When they arrived at the factory, the army and the workers began a fierce battle. The workers had no idea that they were bleeding white ice cream. The army soon took over the factory, but when they reached the warehouse, they were stunned by the sight of. The workers were bursting with ice cream. The army then blew up the whole factory. Jack radioed the whole village to tell them the truth about the ice cream, and that if they ate it they would be eaten. The villagers are told not to eat any more ice cream and to boycott it and destroy it. The villagers are told to stop eating ice cream and piled it up and burned it. They were piled up and burned. Even the sales points were blown up and destroyed. Do you dare to eat ice cream after watching this film?
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.